All right, hi guys. I'm sorry. I had to redo this video. I had an interruption, which was a good interruption because it's more confirmation. So, I had a dream this morning. Okay, today is December 29th, and I asked God, okay, because he has been completely, not like totally silent, but it's been to the point where I haven't been getting dreams. I've not been really getting too much. And I see these channels who are like flooding with all these people, and I'm like, well, and I must be doing something wrong. But I was like, you know what, God? It's not about that. It's about your people and coming to you. So I was like, God, please give me confirmation if we are going to be here for, going further past January. If we're not, then please give me a dream, confirmation dream, right? Well, God gave me a wedding dream last night, and I will tell you what, this dream is so powerful because it ties into this. But before I get into this, I want to say this. Minister Paul, he made some video about this event horizon that's supposed to be taking place in March of 2018. Okay, well, I have a small study on him of that, because I've had 3 dreams confirming that yes, it's going to happen, but it's going to happen at the second coming of Jesus Christ. The bride will not be here for that, okay? And my dream also is part confirmation to his study. I'm not saying he's wrong, because I know he's hearing from the Lord, but I'm just saying that the bride cannot be here for that event that is going to happen, because that is the second harvest, okay? The wheat harvest. We are the barley. The barley is chosen when, okay, just like I had this dream of the wedding, which I'm going to explain in a minute, but when you get invited to a wedding, what happens? You first get an invitation, okay? Mr. and Mrs. Globentimer, they're getting married, okay? You get the invitation. What do? Either you're going or you're not. You get the invitation because you're invited to the wedding, right? It's up to you to accept that invitation. There's a date, there's a time, there's a location, right? Well, then you have the bridesmaid, the groomsmen, and you have a rehearsal dinner, right? But the guests don't attend that stuff because it's not for them. It's for the bride, the groom, and the people who are participating specifically in the wedding, okay? That is what the barley is. They are those people. The guests are the rest of the harvest that come in. So the marriage supper of the Lamb, as in chapter, as people are saying, well, we're going to be in heaven enjoying the marriage supper of the Lamb. Well, we are, but listen to this. Revelation chapter 3, verses 9 and on, it says, indeed, I will make those of the synagogue of Satan, who say they are Jews and are not, but lie. Indeed, I will make them come and worship before your feet, and to know that I have loved you. Okay? And those are the ones who right now are denying Christ, or those who haven't accepted Christ right now prior to the rapture, because this is talking about the church of Philadelphia. Jesus Christ, or God himself, this is in the book of Red, is actually speaking to us, okay? And in verse 10 it says, because you have kept my command to preserve, I also will keep you from the hour of trial which shall come upon the whole world to test those who dwell on the earth. Okay, we are going to be taken completely out of the way. So there is one whole verse right here out of the 365. So now there's 364 more that talk about, yes, there is a rapture indeed before judgment hits. Okay, now get this. It says, behold, I am coming quickly. Hold fast to what you have, that no one may take your crown. We have crowns and stuff that are going to be laid upon Christ's feet. The rest of the people don't get that. The reward is getting to heaven, okay? Because they made it by the skin of their teeth, like guests at the wedding. They're just there, okay? Now, after chapter 3, okay, it doesn't talk about us. Okay, because we're with the Lord Jesus Christ, but it does talk about the guests, and it does talk about the other things that are going to come upon this earth. Okay, and when Minister Paul had confirmation from Rhonda's husband, okay, they said that it is the sign of the Son of Man. Well, the sign of the Son of Man, I'm going to tell you, is this. We've already had the signs, okay, of Jesus' return, Jesus coming, okay? You know, because there's the Jews and the Gentiles. I'm going to read you Matthew 24, okay? And I'm not reading all of it because everybody should pretty much have this down, but I am going to explain something to you real quick. Matthew 24, 29, okay? It says, immediately after the tribulation of those days. What days is he talking about? Let's back up. Verses 15 on. It says, therefore, when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet standing in the holy place, in parentheses, whoever reads, let him understand. Then let those who are in Judah flee to the mountains. Why? Why? Because this is the tribulation period. Because you read down it, you continue reading down, and it talks about how the great tribulation of those days, and it talks about everything that's going to happen. Now, as of the days of Noah and Lot, so shall be the coming of the Son of Man be. Yes, Jesus Christ is coming to rapture his people. The rapture and the second coming are two total different events, and that is what I'm trying to explain on Minister Paul's thing of this thing that's supposed to happen in March, April, or May. But yes, I've had 3 dreams to confirm that, yes, this event will happen, but it's not for the bride. The bride can't be here for that event. Because it says right here in verse 30, then the sign of the Son of Man will appear in heaven, and then all the tribes of the earth will mourn, and they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Okay, it is impossible, okay, that we, as the bride of Christ, okay, are not going to get raptured, okay? Because it is something that's going to happen in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye. We will be forever changed. Those that get left behind, okay, and when we come back at the second coming, the whole earth will see Jesus. The whole entire earth, because they will mourn and know that they have pierced him. Okay, you've got to reread Matthew 24. Okay, this is not for the bride of Christ. For every verse, there's 2 or 3 more backing it up. And especially, okay, how it says in verse 14, how when the gospel is preached upon the whole entire world and every nation, that is when Jesus is coming back. Okay, that's when the end will come. Okay, but you read in Daniel 9, how it also said, whoever reads, let him understand. Well, I have complete understanding because this isn't for us. We are the barley. The barley doesn't go through this, okay? We get chosen automatically, okay? But the wheat has to get separated from the tares, okay? And the grapes don't go to anything. They get crushed, okay? So now that having I said that, I am going to tell you this wonderful, amazing dream that I had. I dreamt that I was applying for this job, waiting on this other place to get a hold of me. Well, I was a waitress, and people started getting mad at me. I remember I was in boots, and I had a coat on, and it was cold, and the whole carpet there was red, and it was dirty. It was nasty looking, okay? And I know it was nasty because it had snow. It was like snow on people's boots, and there was trash, and just lots of other things, and this place was completely crowded. And these employees started getting mad at me and said, you never turned in your tips. I said, I don't need this job anymore. There's no more time. I said, I got a check of $54, but never have I received any tips, and that's not a lie. Okay? And then all of a sudden, this woman took me by my left arm, okay, and had me go with her to this wedding. Okay? And as I was leaving, there was the intercom call that wanted me to said that if I left, they're going to turn me in for stealing. So, and they said they're going to turn me into the police. So I pulled out $54 and showed them the ticket that I had. And I said, Lone Ranger is not a place for me. It switched scenes. Okay. And also and I was in this church, and while I was in this church, there was red carpet. Everything also was red. Okay. And even up into the pulpit where, where the preacher preaches and stuff. And there was tons and tons and tons of these pews, and they were long pews. Some of them actually had pillows. I do remember that. Okay. And as I walk in, I see my mom, my dad, and my sister, and a few more people. There was only a handful of people that were there. Okay. And I saw that this wedding happened so quickly, like that. Like it was just real fast. And when I went up to Crystal, okay, I saw her walking up the front aisle through this door, almost like they were rehearsing, and she was not dressed all the way. And I said to her, and I was in a dress, okay? I was completely dressed. I had my coat on, and I had my coat on, and while I had my coat on, I had where I had this dress on and my boots. And it was weird because on my dress, I couldn't tell if there were flowers or something. Something was on it. And I went up to Crystal, and that was her name. I realized this was my friend Crystal's son's wedding. And she was marrying Benjamin. And I told her, now we're all late. And she said, no, we're not late. The others who are late, they can still be part of the wedding ceremony, but they're as guests, okay? So as we're redoing this wedding, okay, I see my mom, my dad, and my sister all smiling. They were super excited, and I was all the way up front. And then as I look around, I seen all these church pews were completely slapped full, okay? And when I look ahead, I notice that the wedding's already over. Crystal and Ben, they were sitting in front of this window, okay? And this window was so huge, and I'm talking about, it was massive. It was as if we was outside, right? And as they're outside, they had it was snowing, but it was so bright, almost as if there was a light shining through, but there was no sun, see? And they had a wagon in front of them, and they were in their stocking caps for winter, and they were in their coats, almost like they were taking a Christmas picture. Well, 2 of their children were not in my dream, okay? But her 4-year-old son, Luke, was holding a baby. And I took this baby from them, and I said, don't give this baby shaking syndrome. It won't happen anyways. You can't harm him. And all these people were trying to harm this baby, and then that's where I woke up. That's okay. So crystal means pearl, and pearls are white and some are see-through, just like it is crystal clear as to what is going on, right? Well, now, sons, it means descendant, or it's also known as Jesus the Messiah. You could find that in Luke 21, 41, and 44. Benjamin is the 12th son of Jacob, okay, which his name also means son of the right hand, which is amazing. Luke means a Christian, and he is also one who was a companion of Paul in preaching the gospel to many on his journeys. Okay. And it's just more confirmation, So number 54 means purity, even in the inner makeup, which is pure from the inside, the soul, okay? And it also means blameless and pureness, okay? And since I was blameless and pure, and I'm the barley, and, I was already dressed for the wedding and everything, I was in the wedding. I was taken to the bride and the bridegroom, okay? I was a part of this wedding. We are the bride. We are the chosen ones. And those are the first people that make it to this wedding. The rest are guests, as you see that the rest is. And that is what this massive event that is going to be, is to reel in the second harvest, not us. Okay, so anyways, and then that is why they tried accusing me of stealing when they couldn't. Okay, because I was already holy. They couldn't do anything. Though they tried to damage me, they couldn't come near me because I was already chosen by Christ. Okay? And this is what's awesome. I was led to these scriptures. All right? Proverbs chapter 1, verses 1 through verses 11. So that's 1:1:1:1. Now get this. January 1st is also known, if you break it down, as 1:1:18, which 8 plus 1 is 9. So it'd be 1:1:9. Put it backwards, it's 9:11. But with the 21st making it the winter solstice, and actually with us being a month off, it would be the 10th month, but it's the 9th month, and the first would be the 11th day. We also have a super moon, which is called the wolf moon. We also have, it's going to be exactly at 9:24 p.m. And you guys can read Daniel 9:24, just talking about the Antichrist going to rise, which the Antichrist is about to rise, I believe, in early spring of 2018, which would be about March-ish, because March-ish is their summerish time coming in, because their winter begins around November. Okay, it'll still be in the midst of our winter, not complete spring yet. Pray not your flight be in winter or on a Sabbath. Now, I'm going to read you these verses. The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel. To know wisdom and instruction, to perceive words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, judgment, and equity, to give prudence to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. A wise man will hear and increase learning, and a man of understanding will attain wise counsel, to understand a proverb and an enigma. The words of the wise and their riddles. The fear of the Lord is beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. My son, hear the instruction of your father, and do not forsake the law of your mother, for they will be a graceful ornament on your head and chains about your neck. My son, if sinners entice you, do not consent. In verse 11, if they say, come with us, let us lie in wait to shed blood, let us lurk secretly for the innocent without cause. Okay, that is what they were trying to do. That is what people are right now doing. You got false prophets, false people trying to lead others astray, other than the word of God. They're, putting others down, acting holier than thou, which I'm not a prophet. I'm going to say that 1,000 times. I am not a prophet. I am not a minister. I am not a reverend. I am simply a watchman, a messenger of the Lord. Okay? I am a daughter of the highest king. That is all. I give out information as the Lord leads me. Okay? And I'm far from perfect. Very, very far from perfect. So, the other couple things that I want to say is, they are talking about the embassy being moved, okay? They want to get all this peace deal and stuff done, early 2018, okay? And in order for the Antichrist to rise, the bride has to be completely removed. And in order for Revelation 17 and Isaiah 66 to come to pass, then, it would be that Trump would be removed from his short timing, from the short timing, excuse me. All right. Also, in the 10th month, Esther was taken up to the king. Okay. And she, her people were saved and everything with, excuse me, you can read the story of Esther. It's in Esther. That's something that I was led. Okay. And what's great about Esther, is she was prepared for one whole year before she was even brought before the king, just like us. 2017, whole year of preparation. Okay. Which we are completely like, oh my gosh, he's coming. Now people's like, oh, well, what about Judah ben Samuel's prophecy? Well, 500 to 800 years ago when this prophecy was, you have to realize something. Hold on. I have to continue this in just a moment. God bless you guys. I'll be right back.